Last time on the Show with No Name podcast, Sparkle screwed up the audio and lost an hour of recording. We talked at length about cucumbers and mummies, and Harry Potter met with Malfoy the pro gamer and Luna the liberal before joining Gryffindor House.
I didn't think of an opener.
But didn't we say last week you were supposed to make an opener?
I was supposed to, but I'm always thinking up questions. I'm always busy thinking up questions. You never think of any questions.
Because I have no questions to ask. Because I know everything. I am divine. Anyway, I fixed the audio this time, so it won't sound like trash.
And you're for sure it's fixed.
Well, yes, because you see that little two dots touching each other?
Yes.
That's how it's supposed to be. It was the dot with the little blub inside. Little divot.
The little dink.
Yeah, a little dink. Which meant that it was only pointed at me. And also, the gain isn't turned up to absolute maximum. So now people can hear us properly.
I know it's not all spiky like last time.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. It wasn't, though. I don't know anything about audio engineering. You have a question?
I wouldn't.
But first, we actually have a thing, right?
Yeah, there's a thing.
So, the other week, a couple of weeks ago, we asked Ratboy Genius, famed creator of that video, Potato Knishes. It's a great video, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very strange. I asked him some questions. How many questions were asked? 8 questions. Just gonna run through those real quick, I guess. Shall I read them?
Yes, because I can't see any of them.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I show them to you?
No.
Why didn't I? Huh. Oh. Well, question 1 was, what are your inspirations? And he responded, I have had a lot of different kinds of inspirations. When I was very young, around 3 years old, I had a toy drum set that I loved to play along with the Beach Boys and the Monkees. When I was 5, I started piano lessons and gravitated toward classical music. I was very inspired by the movie Amadeus. Who wouldn't be? That's a good movie. Do you like Amadeus?
What's that?
You know, Rock Me Amadeus?
What?
Rock Me Amadeus.
What's that?
It was a play. It was like a rock opera about Amadeus Mozart.
Don't know that.
Really? Huh. Well, that cat's over there doing stuff and shit. Get out of here, loser. That movie helped put me in a mindset where I wanted to compose music. Growing up, my big inspirations were Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, and Chopin. Chopin? I don't know who that is. Is it Chopin?
Mm.
Do you know anything about classical music?
I like the little fluty bit.
Fair enough. When I was 12, I started playing the drums and getting into classic rock. My favorites at the time were Quiet Riot, Van Halen, Rush, and Run DMC. Rush is pretty good. Do you like Van Halen?
Don't know.
Hey. Do you have anything to contribute?
Well, we're reading this from another person. Shouldn't we respect them by not interrupting every 5 minutes or something?
Damn it. Those were some of my early influences in music, but much later when I was in graduate school, I fell in love with surrealism, and in particular the work of René Magritte. And in fact, some of my first experiments creating animated videos, I used Magritte's images as texture maps for the animated objects. I love to read. I have some favorite subjects and researchers that have inspired my own perspective on the world and to give me inspiration for my short stories. One of my favorite subjects is mythology/ancient history, and I have been inspired by Graham Hancock's books that are rewriting what we know about the ancient past. The Thunderbolts Project YouTube channel has been big influences that have created very interested in electric universe theories. What's electric universe theory? I've not heard of that. I'll look that in a sec. Also, I'm interested in what might be called esoteric or mystic philosophy. After I created the Ratboy Genius Dreams Minecraft, I found the Seth material by Jane Roberts. Jane Roberts was an author and a psychic medium who channeled a non-corporeal entity named Seth. Jane would channel Seth, and her husband would transcribe the sessions into many books on the nature of reality, the nature of being human, and many other esoteric and immaterial topics. Seth talks a lot about dreams and the nature of dreams. I discovered that I had already discovered on my own some of what he was talking about. For example, Seth says that sometimes when we were dreaming, our consciousness leaves our body and travels to other places outside of our material realm, where we meet with other entities and participate in activities. Well, this was exactly the premise of RGB Dreams Minecraft. The Jane Roberts Seth books also inspired some of the story behind The Flood and Starship Genius. Did you have a dream about adopting a bunch of dogs, and who was in it?
Matthew Perry.
Yeah, Matthew Perry from Friends.
Or from one of the other shows.
Do you think Matthew Perry dreamed about you?
No, Matthew Perry has no idea who people are. People are just an imagination. They're a concept.
Matthew Perry sounds like a very unwell individual.
He probably is. Have you seen him lately?
No, what does he look like now? Matthew Perry. Not Math Grew. Matthew Perry 2020. For president. Is this him?
Yes.
He's kind of fat. He's gained a lot of weight. I mean, he's like modern Vince. He looks a lot like modern Vince Vaughn. I don't know
From Tales from the Borderlands?
No, Vince Vaughn. No, Vince Vaughn.
No.
Okay. This guy.
Oh.
He kind of looks a lot like him. Vince Vaughn also gained a lot of weight. This is how he used to look when he was younger, I think. He's a
He looks like a different person.
Yeah, he's a pretty handsome dude, but then you got like... How do you have 2 sets of bags under your eyes?
Oh my gosh.
I feel bad for him. Anyway, question 2. Do drugs influence your work at all? This one came from the Discord, actually.
I know.
Cool. He answers, over the years I've seen a lot of comments about drugs on my videos. I think sometimes people are either uncomfortable with or unfamiliar with imagination and creativity, and the only reference they have for the bending and stretching of the imagination is the use of drugs. When I was in graduate school, sometimes my friends would think I was on drugs when I really wasn't. In any case, it isn't really possible to do the serious technical work I do, such as composing, animating, editing, etc., unless I'm sober. That's a pretty fair answer. Like, I didn't think that... It's pretty easy to dismiss a lot of his work as drug-fuel-related madness, but a lot of the techniques that he does for, like, you know, the rigging and the rigging and the modeling and the editing and stuff, it's hard to do when you're sober, unless you know what you're doing and what you want to achieve. Oh, hello, cat. I can't imagine doing it, like, high on acid. It'd basically be impossible to do that kind of technical work, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Question 3. Did you want to read this?
No.
Okay, then. Question 3. Is there any meaning behind your videos, or are they random? He answers, I guess it depends what videos you're talking about. Some of my early videos about Ratboy's Kingdom are a bit random and surreal. I'm flubbing all over my words. Some of the early videos in Ratboy's Kingdom are a bit random and surreal with simple storylines. But the other 4 series, Happy Man on the Red Planet, RGB Dreams Minecraft, Little King John, The Flood, and Starship Genius are all tied together in very deliberate ways. Deliberate in both the narratives and the music. The Happy Man opera is a fictionalized account of what could happen, or what could have happened after the end of Starship Genius, so it all ties together in sort of a cycle. I joke with my friends that these 4 series are a bit like my own Ring Cycle. The Ring Cycle is a series of 4 mythological operas by Richard Wagner. In any case, with these 4 series, I tried to stretch my storytelling abilities. He has a lot of interesting influences on the work. Like, I never thought like a lot of classical operas would be the inspiration on how he develops a storyline. When you look at Ratboy Genius, do you think, oh yeah, this is based on some like classical opera from the 16th century?
Well versed.
Very. Some influence I didn't expect. Question 4. What software do you use to make your videos? For modeling and animation, I use Blender and Adobe After Effects. I edit with Adobe Premiere. For music, I use Logic, Cubase, and Digital Performer. And I have many, many gigabytes of sound libraries and sampled instruments, as well as many plugins and effects. So, the guy knows what he's doing when it comes to making music, apparently. Question 5. What character is your favorite? He responds, I don't generally have favorites. Whichever character I'm working on at the moment is my favorite because I love them all. If I don't love them, they don't get into the videos. Little King John is probably the most fun to animate because he's so stretchy, but there's so much freedom with his poses and movements that the other characters just don't have. He can be very expressive depending on the pose and camera angles. Stretchy characters are pretty fun. Do you like stretchy character, like little stretchy boys? A very fluid character.
What do you mean by stretchy?
Like
2D animation or 3D?
You know, like rubber hosing.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, you like people like that are must be really fun to animate. They're all loosey goosey. They get joints in their joints.
Mm-hmm.
Is he gonna sit down or is he just gonna keep circling? Silly cat. Thinks this table belongs to him. Little loser.
Well, it doesn't. So he should leave.
You should, but I don't really feel like scratching myself up to kick him out. Question 6. What are you working on right now? He responds, I recently put the music from the 4 series previously mentioned on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Pandora, as well as other streaming service. I had a bunch of fans writing to me asking why music was on Spotify. It was a good question, and I responded. At the moment, I'm working on musical projects. I have been composing a lot of music for mallet percussion ensembles that I call Symphony for Mallets. That sounds amazing. I've been producing a demo version of much of that music, and I hope to get the live musician to play it sometime in the future. A symphony for mallets. Actually does sound pretty cool. Just an entire percussion opera with retired...
Mallets?
Yeah. Big mallet, small mallet, medium mallet.
Tiny mallets.
Little, like, toothpicks. Little toothpick with, like, a thumbtack, like, attached.
I was gonna say a marshmallow.
You know like the little thing that thumbtacks are attached to, but you take the tack away.
Yeah.
You use that as a little mallet.
The thumb to its tack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that sounds pretty cool. Question 7. Any plans for future projects? I have an idea for a future video series that I might try to take up this summer, but I've mostly been composing and have started seriously practicing piano again because I'm considering putting some videos on YouTube of me playing piano. At this point, I feel much more driven to work on my music and composing rather than my animation. I don't really love to do animation, but we'll see. And then this was just a question I just wanted to know. I asked him what his favorite sandwich was.
That's cute.
Yeah. He says, again, I don't have favorites. I love all kinds of sandwiches, though. I made a fun sandwich the other night with chicken, lettuce, tomato, and french fries. French fries on sandwiches can be really good. So, if anyone listening to this takes anything away, try...
So he's a genius.
The guy is pretty smart, and also a musical savant. Like, I didn't know he was so talented in music, but goddamn. Also, if you take any lesson from me, a lesson I'm taking from him is that you should put French fries on your sandwich, because that actually does sound pretty good. I asked him if he wanted me to shout anything out, and he'd like us to shout out his music on Spotify and other streaming services. In addition to his Bandcamp page, I forgot to actually look up what his Bandcamp page was, but he has one. He must have one. Ratboy Genius Bandcamp? Yeah, basically just ratboygenius.bandcamp.com. He has all of his music on here, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, that's ratboygenius.bandcamp.com. Thank you, Mr. Genius. You're very much appreciated. Why are you staring at me?
What?
Aren't you gonna thank him too?
Oh yeah, thank you, Mr. Ratboy Genius.
Yeah.
I will take that sandwich wisdom with me.
I actually really would like to make... I got a free day tomorrow. Can we make that sandwich tomorrow?
Okay.
Cool. We still have some of those chicken strips, right?
Which ones?
The ones that are raw.
I'm pretty sure we do.
I could bake some of those up and, like, fry them.
Bake them first, then fry them?
Well, to crisp the outside.
That's what I'm asking. Are you going to bake them first, then fry them?
Yes.
Okay.
And maybe, like, cook up a couple of french fries and make a sandwich with that. I actually do like the idea of a French fry because I think that gives it some good crunch. What bread would you use? It's like a
Brioche.
brioche?
Yeah.
What is brioche? Well, we were watching it earlier. Isn't brioche like a sweet bread?
Brioche.
What is brioche? It's like a buttery, like very light, fluffy bread. I can see that being good. I don't know.
A light, sweet yeast bread, typically in the form of a small round roll.
I should make some brioche.
I like that bread. I don't know if you knew that about me, but that is probably one of my
Yeah.
top 3 breads.
Really?
Yeah.
What am I doing for? I'm doing pork. I'm doing like spiced apple pork chops for tomorrow. Found a good recipe in a cookbook I hadn't read before. It sounded pretty good. It's like a basically pork chop marinated in some like apple juice and like
You
an
have
apple
apple
juice.
juice?
Got some. It's like apple juice concentrate. Frozen little bottles of it.
Oh.
You brine that in. You brine pork chops in that with some salt, so it's in a brine for about 2 hours. So it soaks up the flavor, but doesn't start breaking down the. If it doesn't start breaking down the cells, the meat. I could make some brioche, little brioche rolls. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how to make brioche, but I'll look it up.
With the pork?
Yeah. Some brioche rolls and some fresh peas harvested from the garden.
This sounds like a bunch of stuff just thrown together, but I'm sure it'll taste fine.
What do you mean?
What? Brioche rolls, applesauce pork chops, peas.
It's not applesauce pork chops. It's pork chop with spiced apples.
Which is
spiced apple. Apple slices, sautéed with some spices. On top of the potato. On top of the pork, not the potato.
There's potatoes now?
No. I just can't talk. That's that. With a side of beans and a brioche roll.
You're making beans?
The peas, the green beans, the ones picked from the garden.
Sweet peas.
Yes. Doesn't that sound like a good dinner?
I don't know. I'll have to eat it first.
I'm gonna knock your friggin' socks off with my raw, hard
Cooking?
talent. Raw dogging you with talent. You have questions? Without
sure.
question, I have answer. How do they say it?
Who?
Tofu. You have question, I have answer.
Tofu-chan. It's time for wise questions.
Yeah.
Take me home, country roll.
Yeah. Every time I try to imitate Tofu-chan's voice, I just sound like Tommy Wiseau.
That's cool.
You have question, I have answer.
I like that. My first question of general questions that I always have, that I have swamping in my mind, just stewing up there.
Boiling up, sometimes dripping at your ears.
Yeah. How big do monkeys get? At what point is it no longer a monkey, or is it something else?
I don't know, actually, this question. I don't know the difference between a monkey and an ape. I think monkeys have tails, whereas apes do not have tails.
I think it's only old world monkeys have tails. New world monkeys don't. I think.
I don't really know. I don't know a lot of species of monkey that live in South America. But
Oh, there he goes.
I'm pretty sure the difference is tails. And I don't know how, and as to the question, how big can a monkey get? Not very big.
How big can it get before it's classified as something else?
I don't really know any breeds of monkeys that are too big. I feel like lemurs or something around that size, not much bigger than like a cat. But again, I'm not an expert in monkeyology or whatever it's called. Do you think those monkeys with the weird noses?
Proboscians?
Yeah, don't they live in Japan?
Do they? I thought those were the red-faced, white-furred monkeys. Or is it both?
Might be both.
You know, the ones that use the little hot tubs?
Yeah, those were the ones I was talking about. I thought those were the ones with the big noses.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah. God, they're disgusting.
Yeah, they are.
Both ones, the red-faced ones and the big-nosed ones, are both gross. It should be made extinct.
I think it's kind of neat how they just have white fur. That's pretty cool.
You know who else has white fur? Yeti.
Yeah. I'm not sure what brand this is. I don't think it's a Yeti.
No, it is a Yeti. It's blue.
It is?
It's a blue Yeti. It's a decent microphone. I got it for about $80 or $90. It was on sale. It's a good microphone, actually. At least I'd say as far as budget microphones go, it's pretty up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about microphones. What next?
Can I get a spare kidney from an animal?
No. Maybe. Generally, no. Pigs, maybe. I believe I'm not sure if they've done successful, but I think they've experimented with using, like, pig livers and pig hearts.
In people?
Yeah. Because they're genetically very close to people, and immunosuppressants can help to keep them from being rejected. Maybe kidneys. I don't know. I generally would say no.
Or if my dog needed a heart, I could give her mine.
No.
A chunk of mine?
No.
A little piece of mine.
No.
Oh.
Your heart doesn't regenerate. Unlike your liver or your skin, your heart doesn't regenerate. If you cut a piece out of your heart, it's gone forever.
Oh, that's terrible.
It doesn't heal. The cells in your heart, once they're there, they're always there. They don't regenerate. So try not to damage your heart. Because
like getting shot?
Sure, yeah. Or I mean, like, eating really badly and putting strain on your heart through like, blocking the arteries in your heart. Because if your heart dies, your heart's fucking dead for good. You don't heal. You don't get a second one. Unless you get really lucky and someone dies in a car accident, but their heart is miraculously preserved.
Do dogs need hearts of same breed dogs?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. That's a question I want to look up, actually. I've never thought about dog heart transplants. Do they do those?
I'm sure some dog somewhere has gotten one.
Dog heart transplant. What owners need to know about pet organ transplants. If the need arises, humans can go into an organ transplant list for everything from lungs to liver, but for pets it's more complicated. We spoke to 2 experts to find out what you need to know about when it comes to organ transplant animals. Receiving a transplant. The only type of organ transplant available right now for pets is a kidney transplant, according to Dr. Lillian Aronson, Associate Professor of Small Animal Surgery at the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine. These are mostly performed in cats due to difficulty suppressing the immune system of dogs. Dogs are more likely to reject a donor kidney unless it comes from a related dog, which can sometimes be hard to find. So I guess, yeah, you need a dog of related species, or related ethnicity, or whatever they're called. Breed.
Yeah.
For cats, there's no need for the donor and recipient to be related. Dr. Chad Schmidt. Dr. Chad. I don't go to Dr. Virgin, I go to Dr. Chad. Associate Professor of Soft Tissue Surgery at University of Georgia's College of Veterinary Medicine, says blood cross matches are done to make sure cats are compatible. Most cats match each other, he says. 3 options to finding a donor of the cat are: if you have another cat in your household who is young and healthy, finding a donor cat at a shelter, then adopting that cat after the transplant. Sure, that's exactly what they'll do. Contacting a research vendor to order a cat who is bred for the purpose of being a donor. That sounds kind of fucked up, doesn't it?
What?
That sounds kind of fucked up. That, like, one cat's dying of liver failure, so you'll just take another cat from your house and have its kidneys removed to save the first one. Or adopting a cat specifically to have its organs harvested to save your cat. That's kind of fucked up, isn't it?
Sounds like it.
All donor cats need to be young, at least a year old, and very healthy. I'll be honest. If my cat was dying of kidney failure, I just let him die.
Just put him down.
Yeah. Because I mean, It's a moral. That's a moral question. But is it fair to just? Is it
Now,
fair?
you're sure this is recording right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I may have to turn the gain up a little bit.
Okay.
It should be fine. But like, is it fair to kill another cat to save yours? Or or subject a cat to dangerous surgery to harvest its organs to save yours? It's like that question of, if you have a kid who's dying of leukemia, is it morally correct to have another kid so you can harvest its bone marrow?
What? I mean, what? That's not the same thing, though.
It kind of is.
What, is he gonna die from me taking his bone marrow?
You're giving birth to a child for the purpose of harvesting its bone marrow.
No, that's wrong.
It is right, though. There was an episode of CSI about that.
It's right?
It's not right.
Oh, okay.
It's terrible. I don't know. It's a tough moral question of, how do you save your son?
I think it's just a dick move to kill another cat to save yours.
Oh, totally. Or adopt one from a shelter, just so you can rip its organs out of its back.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fucked up.
What resolution do we see in?
Huh?
What resolution do we see in?
Oh. There's a Vsauce episode about that.
We should watch that.
We should.
Right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
While I look for that, what's the next question?
If you had to, could you extract a tooth yourself?
Oh, yeah. Very easily.
I tried to once with like some pliers.
Yeah, that's really it. Pair of pliers.
But I couldn't get him out though because my you know how pliers are meant to grip like square shaped items or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And my tooth was like cone shaped.
Oh, it's one of your canines?
Yeah.
Use some needle nose pliers. You need needle nose pliers for like plucking wires and such?
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't though because my teeth are impacted up there.
Hmm.
So even if I did pluck my baby teeth, they would not come down without brackets.
What's the resolution of the eye? No, fuck you, Verizon. I'm not giving you this ad space.
Oh, I meant we should go on and sit on the couch and watch it.
Well, we should just watch on the couch in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to listen to us watching a show for 10 minutes.
I just want to know. You could have just looked it up.
Michael. Mikhail.
Vsauce, Michael.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of a video is this? Just an ad for a lawyer, but it looks like
That's some Better Call Saul graphics right there.
it looks like Rob Lowe, like a knockoff Rob Lowe.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it looks like discount Rob Lowe, where he's like kind of over tanned. And there's like so it's like a lot of faded. It's like a lot of images fading into each other, like with faded borders. So it's like on like the far left is a picture of a courtroom. Then it fades into some like law books, and it fades into like three pictures one on top of the other, like a guy holding his face in a bottle of beer in a car, some guy yelling at some guy on a table while the second guy's wife is like yawning. And the third picture of some kind of dented car, maybe. I don't know.
So what resolution do we see in?
Oh, I don't know.
You could just look it up.
I could just look it up. But do I really care?
I care.
What resolution is 480p? What resolution is 4K? What kind of stupid question is that? What resolution do we see? How many megapixels is the human eye? According to scientist Dr. Roger Clark, the resolution of the human eye is 576 megapixels. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
Wow, this is the website that's posted on. The source website looks really bad. I wouldn't trust. Maybe I wouldn't trust this. The answer is we don't know.
I know you told me this before, but I have a hard time wrapping my head around the concept of what used to be there, But what is actually there? What is the dark web really?
The dark web?
Yeah.
It's a marketing term.
Like, what? So there is no such thing?
No.
So the internet we have now is just internet?
Yeah.
And there's no secret back room?
No. I'd say the deep web is a thing, but more in the sense that...
That's what I'm talking about.
The deep web and the dark web are very different. The dark web is basically just a marketing term. The deep web is more like...
No, the deep web is what I'm talking about.
Oh, you said the dark web.
I thought they were synonymous.
No. The dark web is basically just marketing mumbo-jumbo. Like, the secret rooms that hackers will exchange personal information. That shit doesn't really exist. Maybe it does. I'm sure that there are rooms where people exchange personal information for money or whatever, but... They're not.
Anyway.
There's not a massive amount of them. Anyway, the deep web is what most of the internet is composed of. It's more like back-end web pages. Like, you go to Amazon and you search and you go to Amazon and you're like looking for a book and you're like, there's a seller who sells books, like someone's marketplace on Amazon to sell their books. Obviously, there's a back-end page where they put all the listings up and they handle all the merchandise and stuff, right? That would be the deep web. Like back-end rooms back-end administrative rooms and such on websites. That's most of it.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's actually a lot more boring than you'd think it is. The dark web, all that shit is mostly just things to scare old people.
My grandmother barely knows what Google is. I don't think she would care to learn about that.
She's smart.
Do you know much about cavemen?
Nah. Depends, what do you mean?
What did they do with their time? Just hunt and sleep?
Yeah. They migrated, they hunted, they slept, they fucked. It was pretty...
Did they get high?
Yeah.
On what?
Whatever they could eat.
They got high on what?
Anything.
Deer meat, skunk meat.
You can't get high on deer meat. Don't be silly. If there was a mushroom and they could eat it and it didn't kill them, they probably got high off it. There's actually a popular theory that the reason why humans got so got intelligent like we did is because of mind-altering substances. Don't know how much weight there is to the theory, but it's an interesting one. Is the cat flapping her wings? Hi, Flower. Hello, kitty cat.
Did they invent trading?
Who did?
Cavemen.
Probably.
For goods and services?
Probably. I mean, like, I have a spear and you have a hunk of meat. I'll trade you the spear for the hunk of meat. Or I'll just threaten you with the spear.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's probably a bad example. I have a bushel of apples and you have a hunk of meat. I kind of want some meat because I'm tired of apples, and you want some apples because you're tired of meat. So we trade.
Apples for meats.
Yeah.
That's cute.
And then I kill you with my spear, so now I have the apples and the meat.
Oh no. I forgot you had that tiny horse head up there.
Yeah. I like that. I like the one you gave me, and I also had my own one.
What? I didn't give you one.
You gave me a zebra head. And I
gave you that?
Yeah, you sent it. I put it up there.
Yeah, I sent it in my box of things.
Yeah.
That wasn't meant for you. That was my stuff.
Yes. Did you want it back? You haven't complained this far.
I thought you just put it up there just to put it up there. I didn't know it was yours now.
It's not.
Okay.
I just thought it would look good next to my horse head.
Do you think Neanderthal hookers were a thing?
Possibly. I'm sure people solicited sex to people who had resources. Monkeys do that, actually.
Really?
Yeah, there was an experiment where they gave monkeys money, and they found that if they had money, monkeys would prostitute themselves for money.
Like actual money to spend in like villages and stuff?
I don't know if it was money exactly, but it was like food or some kind of resource. But yeah, they found that monkeys would prostitute themselves for it. So it does not seem like a very much of a stretch that Neanderthals would would pimp them. There'd just be a Neanderthal pimp in like all the colorful furs.
I'm hot.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. I think that's all I got.
That's all the questions?
Hmm.
That's a shame. I was enjoying questions.
Maybe you should think of some.
Yeah, but that requires work and planning, and I don't do either of those. Work and planning is for chumps. Do I look like a chump to you?
Yes.
Alright, well, maybe I'll plan next week. How about I write a whole list of questions?
Oh, I love that.
Alright, I'll do that. Alright, a whole list of questions by tomorrow, because that's when we're going to record the next episode.
Alright.
Because this goes out right before we're supposed to release it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yahoo.
Yeah.
Wahoo.
Wah, 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 wah,
Yeah.
wah. Whoop,
So you read the news?
whoop. Whoop.
Okay. Have you read did you read the news from this morning?
What news? In the paper? I don't get the newspaper. You remember that.
So did you see the news?
I don't get the news.
Boy, you have Twitter. Twitter gives you news. Did you see how North Korea blew up their the meeting building on the South Korean border?
No.
Really? What's going on in the news? Oh, people are talking about Aunt Jemima. They're gonna ban her, I guess. What was it? It's like the other day. What'd they do? What the fuck was it they built? But it did something. I forget. They blew up. I know they blew up a building. I can't remember what it was called. And of course, looking up any information is just people memeing. I just want fucking information, goddammit. There it is, the Joint Liaison Center. Or Joint Liaison Office. You know the 39th parallel? Like the border between North and South Korea? You know the 38th parallel?
No.
Oh. Well, it's the border between North and South Korea, just straight line, straight border. They built there's this building in it that straddles the border, and it's a Joint Liaison Office, it's called. And it's basically where they talk. It's the only point in which the two governments will talk to each other. Yeah, they blew that building up. So that's pretty cool. Also,
Just because?
I don't know why they did. I hadn't had the time to look at it. Also, like 20 Indian soldiers were shot by Chinese soldiers earlier today. Same day. So the world's descending into chaos, and I'm quite curious to see if someone will finally declare war on somebody. We're getting into the end game here, boys.
The one thing I told you, I think I told you about this, but I didn't mention that was the one thing that made me think that we were in the
In the what? The Matrix?
yeah, were those Sour Patch Cookies.
Oh yeah, what were they? Sour Pouch Chips Ahoy? It sounds so terrible. Do you think they taste good?
There's a chance. I like Sour Patch Kids. I like Chips Ahoy, but is it just a sour cookie?
Maybe. Are people finally realizing that Aunt Jemima is like kind of racist?
Is it
I mean, what does she look like?
a woman?
She looks like a black housekeeper,
Oh,
from, like slave era.
oh, I never noticed.
Really? Never noticed from like how fat she was and like the way she ties her hair.
No,
She kind of looks like
I literally never noticed that.
she looks like a black servant,
Oh,
or like a black maid or something.
oh,
I mean, you could also justify she just looks like a housekeeper from the 20s or the 50s or something, like a mother or a maid or a housekeeper or something. like Black Betty Crocker, basically. I don't know. All I know is Aunt Jemima tastes like shit, and that you should buy real maple syrup. It's not that hard. It's a little more expensive.
A little.
It's like twice the price.
3 times. That little bottle of maple syrup, genuine maple syrup that we got from the candy store. I mean, we didn't get from the candy store. It was like $9 or $8.
It's like $3 or $4 for a bottle of Aunt Jemima, because it's all corn syrup. And I'll have you know that those bottles of Canadian syrup that I got from Toronto were only $7 a piece.
Neat.
It was not worth it. It's good though, but like, if I'd known that I could have just gone to the if I'd known I could have just gone over to the Amish market just down the road in Joppa, like,
Alright.
would have just done that.
Alright.
You don't want to talk about maple syrup anymore?
No.
What do you want to talk about?
What's the difference between a biscuit?
And?
That's it.
What's the difference between a biscuit?
Bisque.
Oh. What's a bisque?
Isn't that like a type of soup or something?
I don't know.
Chowder? Bisque, chowder soups?
I don't know anything about soups because I don't really eat soups.
I like soups.
They're nice, yeah. I'm more of a stew man myself.
Do you want to take an antacid?
I really should. Oh, God. I'm okay. I'm okay. What if I just keel over and died right now?
That'd be a shame. I wouldn't know how to stop any of your equipment.
You gotta stop this. You've seen me. What button on this list do you think is the stop button?
That one. That one?
Yes. The square. The universal symbol of stop.
I don't know. Sometimes you press other buttons.
Not really. I press the red start. I press the red circle to start, and I press the black square to stop. And then I go and file and export it. Which is slightly harder. I do need to reinstall the exporting software.
I have a feeling that it's recording weird, only because the things are so small.
Oh, it's just like kind of quiet is all. It'll sound fine when it's finished.
That's what you said last time.
Do you trust me?
No.
Well, you do it then.
How?
I don't know. You figure it out. I don't know how to do it apparently.
I could ask your dad to do it.
Oh no, he won't. Yeah, it's fine. You're just a worry. You're just a worry boy. Just a whirly world.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what you will.
Huh? What?
Hmm?
What did you say?
I said you're a worry world. Don't hurt me.
I like the trash can Pokemon.
Rubbish.
Garbodor.
Garbodor. Sounds like Garmadon, that villain from Ninjago.
Ninjago?
Yeah.
I don't know Ninjago, but you do apparently.
No.
Oh, no? I thought you saw the movie.
Yeah, I did. It was okay. It's kind of it's funny in parts. I recommend it. Don't know why I saw it in theaters.
Oh, you did? I thought you just saw it on the Cartoon Network.
No, I saw it in theater. Like when the weekend it came out. Don't know why. Don't know why my dad dragged me to. Well, my dad wanted to go see it with me. But we did.
That's nice.
It was alright. I came out of it not unsatisfied, not disappointed. It was alright. It's pretty funny in parts.
You know the movie I liked?
R.I.P.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I was gonna say R.I.P.D., but you told me about that one. You said you liked blood.
I do like R.I.P.D.
Yeah. Have you read the comic?
No.
Oh, I should get you the comic sometime. Add that to your Christmas list, along with bicycle and xylophone.
Xylophone?
No.
Ukulele?
Theremin.
Ukulele.
Theremin.
Ukulele.
You know what, theremin?
That'd be cool.
I thought you didn't want to play the ukulele because it was a child's toy.
I said it wasn't a real instrument, by the way.
Yeah, that's what you meant. It is a real instrument, and you're wrong.
No, I mean, it's not complex.
It has the same amount of strings as like a guitar, doesn't it?
The guitar has 6 strings.
How many does the ukulele have?
Like 4.
So it's about equal with the bass.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of strings. It's enough strings to start learning.
But there's not a big handle. That makes the woo sound.
What?
That makes the woo sound.
What?
You'll find out whenever you learn to play the bass.
You're right. Hopefully that guy gets back to me. Back teaching me. Anyway, are we doing Harry Potter?
Sure.
Cool.
Am I reading this time?
Yeah. We're on what chapter are we on? We're on chapter 8?
Well, I wanted to show you this picture. It's painted.
That's really cool. It's like a cowboy in them little fluffy clouds. Looks like a ball of cotton. What do you think of the phrase coom?
Kumbaya?
You like coom?
Kumbaya?
No, not kumbaya. Coom. Do you like coom?
I don't know what coom is.
That's fair. Every time I scroll through a chat to find the Harry Potter thing, I always scroll past that picture of Bandit, and I always think, damn man, damn! I wish I was.
Doesn't it just automatically pull up whenever you type in Hogwarts at the top of your screen?
Wait, you can search chat.
What and what?
I can search our Discord chat.
Yes.
Holy crap! I turned into a girl and turned on all the nights. Hello.
What are you talking about?
Just a pop-up ad. When are we on? Oh, no, we're on chapter 7 now.
We are?
Yeah.
Does that say chaff or chaff?
Wheat and chaff. You know, separating the wheat from the chaff.
Nope.
Well, it is. Did you want to read this, or shall I read this?
I guess you can read it.
Okay.
But I only read the next one because you were supposed to read the last one, but the last one got corrupted or something.
Yeah, I wonder the dumbass who did that. Fuck that guy, right? Am I right? That guy's an asshole. He's a real piece of shit. If I had the chance, I'd club him to death.
Yeah, me too.
I guess we'll never know who he was, though. Stop staring at me like that. I always like how you have that ability to just like drop all joy in your face and stare at me like you're gonna murder me. It's really unnerving. You can just drop all emotions in your face and look like a serial killer.
Yeah.
It's... Chapter 7. Wheat and Chaff. Author's note. Hello, friends. Thwew. Wipe imaginary sweat from brow. This chapter took longer to write than I thought it would. There's so much to be done here at Fort Parsons. Some days I don't think I'll ever get caught up. But now that the little ones are sound asleep, I'm finally getting around to putting the finishing touches on this little chapter. I apologize for the delay. Now there have been quite a few questions and comments coming in. I thought I should take the time to address a few. Since I don't have time to reply individually, first of all, to all the mummies who have expressed their appreciation of this little story of mine, thank you. Your support keeps you writing. Remember, though the glory is not mine, it is the work of greater cause. And the people who call me names, a Bible-believing Christian, is like a big, ugly monster who lives under the bridge, and wanting everyone to do right thing and to go to heaven makes one a so-called bigot. Well, what's this modern world? That's this modern world for you. That's what I meant to say. And finally, to all the people who say that I am spreading hate, look at some of the comments posted here, saying that I'm a terrible writer and a terrible mother whose children will hate her one day. Who is it who's spreading hate here? Because I don't think it's me. I'll be honest, I don't even know why anyone hate this. It's not even like it's not even offensively bad. It's just, it's kind of silly. There's nothing harmful in this book. People just hate, it's that never-ending war on Christianity by those goddamn liberals. God, I hate them. Anyway, for anyone wondering why we're skipping from chapter 5 to chapter 7, it's because we recorded this, like, last week. Except that some mysterious man who sometimes comes and diddles my computer and my butt messed with the audio.
And your butt?
And moving on, he messed up with the audio and it became completely unusable. Fuck! It became completely unusable. We didn't feel like re-recording it. Basically, nothing of importance happened.
You could have just slipped that one out. You could just let it go. You could have just published it.
Published what?
The bad audio.
It was really bad. Like, really bad. Oh, man, audio from only one side, and also the gain was turned up way too high. I fucked everything. And thus I'm reaping my rewards. Eternal suffering. So yeah, it was pretty bad. Not much happened. Malfoy was introduced. Luna was introduced. Ron told Harry that God hates him. That was pretty funny. Because Harry doesn't believe the way Ron believes, so God hates him. That was pretty funny. And Harry joined Gryffindor, which is where we pick up. Shall I?
Yeah.
The Great Hall burst into applause as a red and yellow baseball cap with a lion embroidered on it on the front appeared on Harry's head. He hopped deftly off the table and landed on his little feet. He could feel the love of the Lord surging through him, and he knew he had made the right decision. I like to imagine that a great window burst open, like the hat spinning from heaven smashed through a window and fell onto his head. He was even more sure of his decision when Hermione dashed across the cafeteria to give him a big, spontaneous hug. She too was sporting a red and yellow baseball cap, though her cat had a kitten on it instead of a lion. What? I'm so glad, Harry, she cried gladly, delicate tears streaming down her face. When I saw you eating with that family, I was so scared. I thought you might become a Slytherin. Peter. Hey, Peter.
Never worry about that.
What? Harry declared boldly and bravely.
I am a Gryffindor. Now and forever.
Fucking hell. Well chosen, Dumbledore declared approvingly as he took long, energetic strides across the crowded, noisy room. I like you just doing a Bee Gees staying alive kind of walk. Long strides and he's leaning back. Welcome to the Gryffindor hut, Harry. I forgot what his voice was, so I'm just gonna make up a new one. Harry beamed happily. Truly, he had been blessed. As he sat down to finish his breakfast, he was still glowing from joy. He sat back next to Ronald. What was Ron's voice?
Mm-hmm.
I was like the, was that it?
Yes.
Will you still be my friend, even though you're a different hat? Oh. Ronald asked timidly.
Of course!
Harry declared generously. Someone really cracked out their thesaurus for this book, huh? He began to eat his eggs. He had expected his eggs to be cold by now, what with all the hullabaloo, but lo and behold, they were still piping hot. He pretended that what Ronald believed about his worshipping the dead, but he could still offer the young boy friendship. In the spirit of Matthew 2, chapter 6... Was it Matthew chapter 2 or Matthew 2? Matthew 2 Furious? Matthew chapter 2, verse 16 through 17. Oh, thank you, Harry, Ronald uttered happily. He may have been sporting a green and black hat with a snake on it, which testified to his Slytherin beliefs, but he could still recognize Harry's pure-hearted godliness, generosity, humility, and innocent goodness. You'd jerk him off more, why don't you? He looked around at his siblings, all of them wearing hats identical to his, and he wondered why none of them were like that. Attention, students, Reverend Dumbledore announced authoritatively as he hopped onto the stage, the flags of his new regime unfurling from the ceiling. Under your seats, you'll each find a gun. We're going to take the war directly to the president. He held the microphone by his mouth. Hold on, what? He held the microphone by his mouth. Hold on, let me just,
Congratulations on picking the hatch.
He continued kindly.
I'm sure you have all chosen wisely.
Harry hummed to himself. What's that, like, finger on chin meme? You know the one? That emoji?
Mm-hmm.
He knew that the Reverend meant well, but was it really doing the members of other hats much good to tell them that everything was the same when it really wasn't? Would they all be happier if they knew to read the Bible and take it seriously? Dumbledore thought he was making everyone happy, but perhaps he was in the short run. But in the long run, Harry worried that he was doing more harm than good. Harry did not say anything, because he was new to the flock and didn't feel confident in his connection with the Lord. Dude, he can teleport and shit. I feel like he's already achieved max level power. Like, the dude's already leveled up his prayer to, like, level 60 or something in RuneScape. I don't know. I don't love my prayer enough in that game. I don't love Jesus enough in RuneScape. I wish I did. But sometimes it takes newcomers to point out the flaws we don't see in our own communities. The Reverend clapped his hands against each other once. Just like that. And then he spoke enthusiastically. Now you will be sharing most of your classes with other members of your hat, so would it be a good idea for you to get to know them now? Ravenclaw hats, please gather on Mr. Moody. Hufflepuff's hats, Hufflepuffs. Please gather on Mr. Sprout. Slytherin hats, please gather on Mr. Finnegan. And Gryffindor hats, please gather on Mr. Snake. Now at the beginning of the breakfast meal, Harry had noticed a tall, mysterious-looking man with dark hair and gaunt, enigmatic features. He was dressed stylishly in a crisp black suit, and his tie made a shock of red in an otherwise totally black outfit. The dark hair on his pale chest... Wait, what?
Wait, what?
The dark hair on his pale chest was neatly trimmed, but still noticeably thick. What the fuck? Sorry, is it like wearing a chestless suit? Is it like a Chippendales dancer where you just got the necktie on?
Oh my god.
So has he just got like a carpet of black hair on his chest? That's kind of weird. So is Snake just like a Turkish man? Just covered in body hair?
I don't know what a Turkish man looks like.
Do you know like Yeti?
Yeti?
Yeah, like covered in hair.
The animal?
Yeah, like covered in hair.
Yeah.
That's a Turkish man.
Oh.
Or an Armenian man. Both are acceptable. But I'm going with Turkish for this analogy. He wore elegant black leather shoes on both of his feet. As opposed, of course, but do you need to say that he wore it on both of his feet? Or if he didn't say that, are we supposed to assume he's only wearing one leather shoe?
Yeah.
What kind of weirdo does that? No one would assume that. It was now that he noticed that on the table that this man was sitting at was a placard that said Mr. Snake on it. Harry followed the other brave young children wearing Gryffindor hats. Author's note. Blessings. Would you like to read the scripture for the week?
Matthew 2:16-17. And when the scribes and Pharisees saw him eat with, what was that say, publicans and sinners, they said unto his disciples, How is it that he eateth and drinketh with publicans and sinners? When Jesus heard it, he said unto them, They that are whole have no need of the physician, but that they that are sick. I came not to call the righteous, but sinners in repentance.
Very well said.
Thank you.
I believe we can all take a message away from that. Don't eat with poor people and lepers. Stay away from them. They're gross. Ew. Poor people. Ew. That's the message that the Bible was getting. That's the message that the Bible was getting across, right? Ew, poor people. You know, they didn't tell you this in the Bible, but Jesus was an anarcho-capitalist.
Wasn't Jesus like 4'9"?
Yeah, he was also a midget. Remember Tiny Jesus?
Tiny Jesus.
Yeah, you remember Tiny Jesus' theme song? It was Tiny Jesus. His theme song was like, that song "Party Rockers" by LMFAO.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like Tiny Jesus in the house tonight.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna have a righteously good time.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna lose their sins. What?
I should punch you for that.
You were exposing yourself. Your mouth, I mean.
I should punch you for that.
You were exposing your mouth. Why must you always threaten me for over the minorest of infractions?
You're really annoying.
You're really annoying. But that's why I like you.
Because I'm annoying?
Yeah. You gonna choke me?
No.
Don't choke me.
I didn't say I was going to. Stop moving.
why are you
Stop wiggling!
Why are you reaching my mouth?
Stop wiggling!
Get away from my neck.
Stop wiggling!
Tell me what you're doing then.
I'm just going to hug your throat.
No. You already tried to strangle me.
Just let me do it!
I don't want to die though.
I'm not gonna die you.
You're not gonna game end me?
I'm not gonna die you. I won't die you.
You're gonna dye my neck purple. No. No.
See what you did.
But look what you did. You're the one who tried to strangle me. Stop it. Am I gonna have to worry about dying in the morning? Am I gonna wake up dead?
Yeah.
Oh. Shall we go ahead and end here?
Okay.
Okay. Special thanks again to Ratboy Genius for his Q&A. We really do appreciate it. I'm sure you feel much the same, right?
I do.
Yeah. You can check him out at ratboygenius.bandcamp.com or on his YouTube channel or his Twitter. I think it's just Ratboy Genius. Just search Ratboy Genius on Google or whatever search engine you prefer, and you'll find him. Great guy, wonderful guy. Go watch his stuff. And see you next week. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Send help.